Hello, this week we are comparing and contrasting the solution-focused brief therapy and the narrative therapy. These theories are similar in which that they are both in a position of the therapist not knowing. That is a key factor in both of these theories. The counselor is not all knowing, so both emphasize a collaborative approach. Both use questioning to engage clients, and both refrain from diagnosing and labeling clients. Both focus on how language from the therapist is used, and in both theories, the therapists listen and highlight signs of strength and competence. These theories are different. Solution focused is focused on solutions, and narrative is strength based. Narrative finds historical evidence and past problems, while SFBT doesn't focus on history taking. Narrative theory is guided more on therapist attitudes than on techniques that we see in solution focused brief therapy. The strengths of SFBT include that the therapists recognize the competence in the individual clients and reinforce clients' optimism by creating positive expectations that change is possible. So, by emphasizing this, what Corey has highlighted as positive psychology, clients quickly become involved in resolving the problems that they have. The focus of SFBT is on what is working in the client's life to identify what exactly is working and help them build on from that foundation. So SFBT also invites clients to examine other sides of a story and view other perspectives. Clients are trusted in their intention to solve their own problems, and therapists have an understanding that clients are capable of change under cooperative and empowering therapeutic approaches. The limitation of SFBT would include that in this theory, overly technique driven, it can affect the therapeutic alliance. Interpersonal aspects can also be lost due to the therapist's focus on being solution focused. Some clients need more time than the time frame given in this brief theory. Another limitation is being overly optimistic on the client's ability to change or want to change. Possibly clients are wanting to change or but they're not really ready to change. So I was thinking about, how we've learned about the process of change and how that looks like and how it's not so linear. It also doesn't look into the history or past trauma. What if a client wants to, look at or talk about or process their past or trauma? It's limited because the functions of theory is also asking questions. The therapist's feedback could be risky with imposing values or overly complimenting, as we've learned, avoiding that like stamp of approval. So I think that could be a risky factor in, and as well as a limitation in SFBT. The strengths of narrative include that it treats clients as the experts of their life. It refers to clients as client as expert. It elicits strength-based stories to alter clients' perception for change. It's based on a collaborative relationship between the client and the counselor. Narrative therapists listen without judgment or blame, and they listen closely to find the client's competence and their abilities, the strengths, their talents, positive intentions, and this can really serve a great catalyst for change. It has a socio-cultural context, which is really relevant for counseling culturally diverse clients. And what I found really encouraging was the narrative theory really talked about the problem is the problem and the client is not the problem. I think that that maybe could be normal for clients to feel like that they're the problem instead of their problem is the problem. The limitations of narrative theory include the not knowing stance can be a limitation, as individuals from different cultural groups view the professional as the expert who will provide them with a direction. And this is all in reference to Corey. What are some ways that each theory is compatible and incompatible with the Christian concepts? So I would say that both theories are really compatible, that they have that collaborative approach, and that it highlights that individuals and humans are capable and competent, and they, come from a non-judgmental, and they refrain from blame. So I wanted to reference Joshua 1:19. That states, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And that's NIV 2011. And I thought that this was really relevant because, life is full of really hard choices and challenges. But thinking about Joshua 1:19, we aren't alone. And that's just really something that's encouraging, and I think really compatible with both theories. And I can see that, it can be incompatible, the SBFT, because it's kind of too optimistic that people can change and sustain change. We know that people are capable of sin and evil, and so that's a way it could be kind of incompatible with the Christian concepts. So the limitations as far as creating measurable outcomes for clients, as I read in Stan's case, the counselor was talking about how in the narrative theory, the theory didn't start off with a formal assessment. So that could be a limitation in just kind of starting off with trying to create measurable outcomes for clients, as well as both theories refrain from assessment and diagnosis using the DSM-5 model. This can pose limitation with creating measurable outcomes for clients as well. Thank you.